And hello and welcome back to another podcast. We've got episode 12 today, Stephen. Oh, can you believe that?
Yeah, episode 12. Wow, it's gone so quick.
I know it's gone really quick, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So today we'll be talking about how to make a film, like a film shoot, like a Hollywood or a short film. Stephen and I, we know quite a little bit about it, of how to make a film because we have studied. We've done two and a half years of film school, pretty much, haven't we, Stephen?
Yeah, 2 to 3. Or was it just 2? Yeah, just 2, whatever.
Yeah, 2.5, I think it was.
Yeah, 2.5. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, so we've learnt quite a bit on the process of how to make a film and also television as well. Pretty much nearly the same thing, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
And how they work.
Once you learn film, you've learned broadcast in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. And once you've learned how to do broadcast, you've learnt film as well.
Yeah, it's still about the techniques and all the things that you really gotta, get ahead.
Yeah, get ahead. Yeah, so in Australia, it works a bit different to how it works in America. There are different processes of how it works, but then they do both work in a way. Yeah, so where should we start roundabout, Stephen? Should we start the process of it, or should we start different crew roles, or?
We'll go through crew roles, I reckon.
Okay, crew roles.
What does the producer do?
So there is different types of producers. There's a line producer, but I'm not sure what they do. There's the post producer, which the post producer will actually is the producer of the edit of process of the film. There's the producer who will actually get the idea of the film, and from the scriptwriter or whoever, and then say to the executive producers, so the people who pay for it, the executive producers will pay for it, and the producer's going to persuade them to say to persuade the executive producers of what to say, what the movie's going to be about, and blah blah blah. You get the idea of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's different types of producers, but yeah.
Alright.
Is that correct from your perspective? Or?
It sounds correct. Yeah, it sounds correct.
There's also the producer of television. So the producer will go to the media company or whoever and say, we've got this idea for a film. Not for a film,
pitch.
for a TV show.
They do a pitch, right?
Yeah. And they will organise that, and even live broadcast, the producer will be sitting there and then making sure everything's going all under control. But in a not Hollywood film, but yeah, the producer wouldn't even go on the film shoot sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, the producer's like the person behind the scenes, mostly on films as well, right? They're just working behind the scenes with the director as well. Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the producer can say to the director, "No, we don't want that." But no one else can fire a director apart from a producer.
Yeah, so the producer is more on the top of the hierarchy. Like
in It, Chapter 1, they had 4 directors before. I think it was 3 directors before they chose the last director.
Yeah, didn't a lot of people just leave the movie though?
And also they left it. Yeah, a lot of directors some directors did leave. It was like 12 years in pre-production of how they're going to make the film and all that. So it was quite a long process for that.
Yeah.
Pre-production work.
That's pretty messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Someone wasn't looking after the other people.
No.
Yeah, so you're probably all wondering what the director does. Stephen, what's your take on the director?
The director directs the talent, all the actors, like what movements to do, how they should act in a way, right? Yeah. As well. The director also works closely with the camera operator and how he wants, the DOP, and how he wants it to be framed, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty correct, yeah.
Yeah.
The director can also be the location scout as well. They can pretty much do anything really. They have power over the whole film shoot of what's going to happen. They are from the start to beginning, so they're like the producers who will be actually there for the whole film process.
They also choose the type of lenses that the camera will use, or like what type of cameras, right? Or is that more DOP?
That's more DOP.
That is more DOP.
If the director has to do that, there's something wrong with the DOP.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But if it's a short film or if a really cheap film, yeah, the director could do that.
Okay.
The director can choose its own crew and cast, so they're part of the casting people.
Process.
Yeah, process. Yeah. So they will choose who their DOP is, who the production designer is. It production designer.
What?
The person who does all the location.
Stuff. Production designer is the location guy. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So the director will choose that. Those two people and I forgot what else they do now. Yes, they'll choose all that. What the fuck, Stephen?
I don't know. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no, I wasn't, no.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for you to say something. I thought you were going to...
Well, we'll just talk about executive producer. You kind of brought that up before, but the executive producer kind of funds the project. They kind of fund it, and...
They don't kind of, they do.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, they actually
They actually do fund it, and if they aren't liking how it's going, they can, I think, bail out some of the money.
Yeah, they don't even have to bail out. They can just say, no, we're not doing the movie now.
Yeah, we're not doing the movie or the production now. Aside from that, who else do we have? We have the DOP.
Yeah, so director of photography. So they will do all the camera work pretty much. Choose the tripods, try the cameras that they'll use, the lenses, the ND filters that they'll be using, everything that's to do with camera. They're the person in charge of it.
Storyboarding, would they do the storyboarding?
That'll
as well?
be director.
That'll be the director.
Yeah.
And then they'll just follow the shots.
Yeah, the shots. Yeah.
That drawn.
But the DOP will be part of the director's order. So the director will say, "I want this shot," but the DOP has got to understand what that director wants.
Yeah, and
as well. Yeah.
Do his vision.
Envisions. Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to think who else we got. We got the boom guy.
Oh yeah, so the boom operator. Yep. So they're the person who you'll see holding a pole with a microphone on it. Like everybody thinks that's a pretty fucking cool job.
Lots of the people think it's easy.
Yeah, it's apparently that's really easy. But you've actually you'll see them in film shoots where they're holding a pole with headsets on. You don't see that in the industry at all. They won't be wearing a headset. They've got to look where they're walking pretty much, and then where the talent is. So they've got to follow that talent with a microphone pointing at them. If they don't, it'll sound a bit different, and they're not going to be happy in the edit room when they're when they're doing the edit for the sound, for the audio. So that's the boom operator's job. It's really important. People think it's fucking easy. It looks pretty easy, but it's not.
Especially when you've got all those scenes in TV shows where people talk and they're walking down a hallway or a path, or scenes like battle scenes where a guy is screaming or some shit. They got to have a mic on the guy's mouth still. So if there's like a battle scene, and someone's running, the boom operator, he has to run a little bit too.
Yeah, but the boom operator will have to look at
that one.
Yeah, they will also have to look at the storyboard as well. And they'll memorize what's happening in the script. So
okay.
They know what if there's someone screaming, they'll know that, and to move the mic away as well. I did a bit of booming for a film shoot on Steven's film a couple of years ago. I forgot what that film was called, but
Last Night or something.
Oh yeah, not One Night or something.
One night stand. No, yeah. one night.
No, it was One Night.
One night.
No, it wasn't. It's about a party, and someone got murdered today, or.
Yeah, basically it's about vampires at a party.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Party.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's like one or two vampires, who came in to get some blood.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I just read the script, kind of, the day I got there, pretty much, and they put me on all different roles. So I'll explain them a little bit later on. So I was doing a unit. I was doing best boy,
Gaffer?
Yeah, gaffer, continuity. Oh no, that was Brody Gaffer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was best boy.
That's right.
And then what else? I was doing booming and continuity. I think I already said that, but yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so there was a lot of roles that I did on that film shoot. I probably did more on that one than I did on my own one. Yeah, but boom operating on that was pretty difficult because there was a small hallway and I couldn't hit the boom hole on any walls or doors, anything like that. So and then there was a screen which I didn't know at the time, but I just saw the actor's chest moving, like going ready to scream, so I moved the pole, and they were pretty happy that in the edit because I only did one take.
Yeah, you're pretty on point during the whole film.
I tried to be.
Anyway, let's how about continuity?
Continuity. So this is one I did on both film shoots. So on my own one, and Steven's one as well. Steven's one I didn't even know what the director wanted. I was just doing continuity to see if there was anything that didn't look right or whatever. Because one of the continuity people had a mental breakdown, so it's actually the second hardest job to do on a film shoot.
Yeah.
You don't have any breaks.
Like if one glass or bottle, pops out behind them in the next shot and that wasn't there before, people are going to see it.
Yeah, that's right. So you're pretty much looking at the film shoot the whole day. You don't actually have a break nearly, but then you'll get unit people to actually give you your food and your drinks and whatever because you're too busy concentrating on what you actually got to do. So my film shoot, I had a lot of problems. The director wanted to keep on shooting, like keep on the next scene, the same scene or a different camera angle, which I'll explain the Slate and how that works a little bit later on, how we did it. So the director wanted to move on to the next scene, but different scene. And is it scene? Yeah. And Slate. Slate and scene. So I argued with him because I saw a continuity error, and he said, "No, I want to go to the next one." I was like, "No, we're doing that again." And he goes, "No, let's go to the next one. We haven't got enough time." I was like, and then anyway, so the director, the first ADD, first assistant director, and a few others were actually against me. And then when I went to the editor, I wrote it down in the notes, like saying the director, and everyone said, "Nah, let's keep on moving that." Anyway, the editor tried to blame me for the film not being right, but the lecturers said, who've actually had a lot of film experience and all that, said, "Aren't you making a psychological film where it's actually not meant to look right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they said, "And you blame your continuity who wrote your notes that doesn't look right." They said, "It's your own fault really, but also you're making a psychological one, so it doesn't matter if it looks right or not."
Oh, it does. That's
yeah,
the thing.
But some of the things that were in the film, like they didn't look right, but also that was kind of not purpose. It was.
That was a part of it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Kind of accidentally, but also purposely done.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was a lack of communication between the director and everyone on that film shoot. And anyway, that director did a film the following year, and that was the worst film. The worst short film that they've done. Yeah. So, what's the next one you want to talk about?
Second assistant camera. What do they do?
Should we go in order?
Second AC.
We haven't talked about the first AD yet.
Oh, we'll just do the first one then.
Okay, right. So first AD is the focus puller in a film shoot. So actually it really depends on which film you're doing. So on a short film, you might have the DOP doing something extra, or if you want to make a cheap film, the DOP will be actually the camera op. So on the first AC, which is the camera assistant, CA, they will be doing a focus pulling, or they'll be behind the camera on the film shoot.
And the thing with focus pulling is, people think it's easy, or you're just pulling a knob.
Yeah.
You gotta have a pencil or not a pen.
Oh yeah, there's a
pencil.
permanent little not a permanent marker, whiteboard marker. Yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta mark the spots or something.
Yeah, the spot. Yeah.
When it's about to
Yep,
be
so,
clear. Or
yeah,
not clear.
we'll explain a little bit later on. The first ACD, what they will also do as well when it comes to pulling pull focus. So we're going to take a short break now. Stay in tune though, because we'll just be back in about a few seconds after the fade to black.
After the segment, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we'll be back anyway. So make sure you leave like a notification, like ring that little notification bell right there, and then press the like button on the YouTube shit, and then what's the other one?
Make sure you like, sub, and press the notification.
The sub button. Yeah,
the sub
press
button.
that one.
That's right.
And then so we'll go from there. Yeah. Oh shit! Look.
There we go.
Yeah, we're out of time.
All right. See ya. See ya.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Maas&Staple podcast. We're on segment 2 right now, so we're just done the back to black to fade. Right into the podcast, obviously. So we were just talking about the camera assistant one. First the camera assistant. So what they do is I'll continue what we were talking about before. So they'll put a bit of tape on for the actors to stand on. So point 1, point 2, point 3. So where the director and the actors have walked and they've played out their role, they'll put little points on the floor to see where they'll walk, and then that same person will actually focus see where the actors are in focus or not through the camera. So that one over and done with now. So Stephen, tell us about Camera Assistant 2.
Okay, the Camera Assistant 2. Normally the Camera Assistant 2, they're the ones doing the Slate, right? I think that's right.
Yeah, you did it. I didn't do it.
Yeah, so the whole point of the Camera Assist 2 is to be doing the Slate. They're meant to change out the lenses too, believe it or not, in the camera.
They clean them out as well.
Yeah, they clean. Yeah, that as well. Clean them out, and I believe they also make up the call sheets. Or is that someone else?
That's someone else.
I thought they made up some sheets or something as well.
They fill in sheets.
Yeah. Okay, that's
for the editors. So if the camera operator, so the DOP, is doing frames per second, so you put like 1/50. The f-stop could be 4.5. ISO could be 800, for example. They'll write down all the information for the editor. So if they're doing a film shoot in a house, for example, it's all going to be the same f-stop, the ISO, and all that. So the editor can kind of get a feel of what not feel, but they can color grade it properly and all that at the end of the film.
All the tones and the RGB.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so the Camera Assistant 2 will write all that information down. And even there's an NV filter as well. They will even write that in as well, onto that sheet for the editor.
Yeah, for the editor. Yeah.
So Stephen, tell us about the first AD on a film shoot.
The first assistant director.
Yep, that's the one.
The first assistant director. From what I remember, I'm pretty sure the first AD, they do meetings throughout the day. Am I thinking of that right?
Yeah, it's not the most important thing that
I know, but it's one of the first thing I thought about.
Yeah, they do a meeting first thing in the morning for crew, and for the cast as well.
Timings before when it's lunch break, when it's dinner break, when it's ended wrap, like everything's
even for breakfast as well. They'll even do.
Yeah, even for the breakfast. Yep. I'm just trying to think what else she did. Just boss everyone around.
Yeah, pretty much that's what they do.
That's basically what they do.
So they're the people in charge of the film. So if they're behind time, they've got to make sure they're back on time. Everyone's got to, and if they can even say, we're going to skip that scene or whatever, because they're behind time. Because time is money in the film industry, and so is in television and broadcast. So everything is time and money. So the more longer you're there, the more you got to pay out. And especially that implies here in Australia, because in America you're probably underneath a contract saying, oh, okay, you're going to get paid 50 grand for this film, for example. But if you're here in Australia, you're getting paid an hourly rate, which can add up. And if an Australian works overtime over 10 hours, they get paid double, virtually from over that. And then so they get paid 1.5
times.
Yeah, times of what they're paid. So if they get paid $25 an hour, they can get easily up to, I think, if I add it up quickly, around about $40 an hour.
Yeah.
And if they go over 12 hours of working, it's double money, so it'll got to about $50 an hour if you're on $25.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but you don't want to be working 12 hours because you wake up early the next day to go and start the fucking same shit again, but different day.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the film industry right there. Different day, different...
Same shit.
Yeah, same shit, but different day, yeah. And you're
Alright.
the same people and all that crap. Yes, so the first AD make sure everything is on time, schedule. They even write the crew sheets. They're the first and last people on a film shoot. Same thing, enabled with the director and also unit. The first and the last people there. So then you got the second AD. So the second AD is the second director's assistant. Second DA. Sorry, is that correct?
AD.
AD.
It is AD.
Assistant director. Yep, so then in television that's DA. Director's assistant.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, so in okay, I'm gonna go back to the film. So second AD, what they do is they get all the actors ready. So they'll say, oh yep, so your time to come on, and blah 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 blah. And so the actors are gonna go out and they'll get controlled by the director or whatever. The director might even come out with them. And then the third AD is the people in charge of the guests and like extras and all that kind of carry on. So in Marvel Avengers, when you see all those extra crew, not crew cast, they will get directed. Well, get told what to do.
Special treatment.
Not
in a way, right?
Oh yeah, because it's a Disney film, but
yeah.
Yeah, well they'll anyway. Just ignoring for a sec. Yeah, so they'll. So pretty much they will get told what to do by the third AD. Okay, going back to television, so DA, director's assistant, so they're the people also in charge of the times. They might have like 10 stopwatches and one in front of them. They might be control of sports, like for the Olympics, for example. Every single television not broadcast, but different. So Australia, they got a lot of adverts in between, like the Olympics and all that shit, and so is America. But then you might get China, which doesn't have any adverts in between the Olympics, for example. And the DA is going to be in charge of, like, America could have different times to Australia with their adverts. So they've got to keep the control of what's happening. The director will actually call out different shots and see what happens there. So pretty much that's television for you as a DA, and depends what the show that you're on as well, what DA does. And also the DA presses the stopwatch at the start of the production, and then at the finish of the production they'll see how long that goes, and then if the TV show goes over time, well then they've got to kind of cut it out or whatever they're going to do.
I'll do it like a skip.
Yeah, they might have to do that in edit. Yeah. So going back to the film industry again, you've got the next one is probably the editor. I reckon we'll go editor.
Alright, sure.
Yeah. So tell us about editing, Stephen.
Editing. Well,
Or the editor.
on a film, the editor, as soon as the scene is done, they have to put it onto a hard drive. I'm pretty sure, laptop.
That's Data Wrangler.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, well, it's a little different on the tape then. Alright, yeah, so the main point of the editor, of course, is to assemble, Avengers Assemble all the pieces of media, video, clips and all that, and just put it into a sequence, basically, on DaVinci, Premiere Pro, Avid Media Composer. They got to sync up every shot. There's going to be a lot of shots that aren't synced up, that's why you have the Slate. The music, I'm guessing he puts in the music from the composer, and he writes down like when to put it in and all that. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So the scriptwriter will write down whoever is in charge of the film.
Yeah, the timing.
The editor will sit down with the director at the start of the film, before the production goes, talk about what's going to happen and all that. They'll get. So in every single film shoot, there is the original script, there is the director's script, and then there's the editor's script. The editor's job is pretty much to save everyone's fucking ass that's fucked up during the production of the film.
Yeah.
They've got one of the hardest jobs, and some editors don't even get even sleep due to the time demand of what they get. Yeah,
it's pretty fucked up. Like with editing as well, like just all the motion graphics and stuff. With some of those films, like when you say editing, you just mean video editor, right?
The editor, yeah. So the person that will put everything together in the film. So the editor will actually, as Stephen was saying, assemble everything, put it in the edit. So the movie might be like 2 hours. The editor's got to make sure it goes for 2 hours.
Yeah. So if it's shot for 3 or 4 hours, he has to cut it down by 2 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty hard job.
And the producers can even say, "Oh, that's too violent. That shot that the director took or whatever. So we're not going to put that in the film because that's what happened in Joker. Half an hour.
3 scenes cut out.
Yeah, 3 scenes, which is half an hour roundabout for that film, was cut out of the whole movie. And I reckon that kind of destroyed the movie a little bit.
A tiny bit. They're going to show his insanity a little bit more. But it's a shame it got cut out.
Cut out, yeah.
Him stealing drugs from pharmacies and shit, apparently.
Oh, they should have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a bit more exciting. But anyway, so the editor's job is to listen to the producers, but then also they got to save the film. So it's a pretty hard job. They will put the edit, so the audio, the visual effects, which are done by other people.
Credits.
So, credits, and the music, which will be done by other people, and put it all together to get the film. So then you've got. Should we talk about more the other editors?
All right, sure.
Yeah, so you got your visual effect editor. So that editor will actually do all the green screen shit, the
motion graphics.
Motion graphics, CGI.
Yeah.
Anything that revolves around
effects.
Effects, yeah.
Yeah.
That's their job to do it. You might
Animation effects.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You're all good.
Yeah.
So you might even have 500 of them doing that. I think we had one guy who's done Thor, Superman, all that carry on. He's done. I think he said each frame takes him about an hour to put all the visual effects inside the actual
screen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, inside that shot, and they might not even take it in the end, as well.
So it might just be a deleted scene.
Yeah, you might have 100 hours of. You might have done hundreds and hundreds of hours of editing each shot, and then it's not getting put in the film. It could be due to the editor not putting it in, or the producers, or whoever.
Not enough time.
Yeah, sometimes the director will actually not. Will even come into the editing room and will actually put the film together as well. So the editor will have its. So the director will have its own edit as well as the editor.
The director's cut.
There is a few films, where they have the director's cut, and they might even do that one, or they might do the editor's cut, depending which one looks better, they reckon.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what else other editors are there, Stephen?
What other editors are there?
Yeah.
You got the video editors. I was gonna say audio editors, but
Yeah.
audio
that's fine.
engineers
Yeah.
and all that shit.
You talk about more audio because you're an audio person.
You got the audio director. I'm pretty sure is that part of
That's television.
film? That
Television.
isn't.
Yeah, television.
Oh.
You can talk about them anyway.
I'll just say Foley then. Every TV show and movie have Foley. There's this massive studio, and they have axes, sandals, just things to emulate horses, people walking on a mountain, all that jazz. Foley artist. That's one of the major ones too that people don't really talk about.
Yeah, so in a film, especially in A Quiet Place, you don't actually realise how important audio is until you actually watch that movie, where about 95% of the film that is actually capturing your mind is actually the audio. Nothing to do with the picture. The picture you might think, oh wow, but the audio is what actually captures your attention in the first place. So 90% of the film actually makes the movie, and while the other 5 to 10% is actually what the camera is showing you.
Yeah. And
that's what makes the Quiet Place film a really good film, because you're actually listening to the sounds.
It's a quiet place.
Yeah, the Foley work. So Stephen, going back to what Stephen was saying, he was just explanatory to it. But they will use all different shit and junk, pretty much to make a sound. So you might, I don't think, like they might even use this bit of paper scrunching to make
ASMR.
Yeah, they might even use that to make water falling on a tin roof, for example, and then they might edit it back into the audio audio engineer will actually edit it a little bit to make it sound like raindrops and all that kind of carry on. Yeah, so explain more about the audio people, Stephen, again.
Explain more about
the
Foley people? Or?
Yeah, well, we've said about Foley people.
I don't really know.
You got the audio engineer.
Yeah, you got one more. You
got one more.
Audio engineer.
You got the sound recordist.
That's right, the sound recordist. So the whole thing of the sound recordist is they have a mixer.
Yeah, mixer, yep.
A mixer that you would call it. Mixer, not 3D, but that's one of the ones we had to use. Basically, they set the gain, they set the volume levels. They always do tests, and there's always, the silence before each scene. Testing for Atmos.
Yeah, Atmos.
We call it. And the whole testing for Atmos is everyone has to be silent, because that room tone can save a film.
It can.
Depending on what you're shooting, but you should always do it, because you fuck up a scene, for example. If you have that bit of silence, maybe you could cut that into a newer scene to fix it.
Yeah, so the Atmos, I'll explain a little bit, probably a little more better. So the Atmos, you record it, or after the recording that you've done, it doesn't matter. So if
it was before.
Say if you're talking, and then a crew member might talk, or a siren might go off, for example, they'll put the Atmos in so you can't hear the siren in the background.
Yeah.
Yep.
Replace the sound effect.
Yeah, so they get rid of that siren that's playing, that shouldn't be there in the first place, because that's what the audio location producers and all that do before.
Yeah.
Location scout.
Yeah.
Location scout should actually do before the film is actually filmed. So I reckon we'll go to a break now. So make sure you press the like, subscribe, and Stephen, what do you have to do?
Notification bell.
Yep. So it gives a little bit of ring, little ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
Yep.
So you can get your little notifications from us when we're posting the next podcast. So catch you later.
All right. No worries, guys. See ya.
Hello, and welcome back to another podcast, Maas&Staple podcast, with on episode 12 and segment 3. So we've actually got quite a lot of roles we've said so far in the film industry. So going back to the audio director in television, so what they'll do is they will actually ride faders on the audio desk. They will adjust the frequencies live while it's happening, or even just before it's happening. Yeah, so they're kind of like the audio engineer, but also they're in charge of everything audio-wise. They'll select all the audio equipment, so microphones, speakers, whatever they need for the film shoot.
They also normally have audio assistants who just help out with sound sometimes.
Yeah.
As well.
And the audio assistants will apply microphones. This is television. Will apply the microphones to the people that are talking, or they might just give the microphone to the people, or whatever they're going to do, or adjust microphone. Yeah, anything that's happening that's going wrong, they might have to replace a microphone. Yeah, that's what their audio assistant's got a job to do. Yeah, so then that takes us. We've done audio, we've done camera, we've done editing,
we've done the Foley.
Yeah, that's audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, you're good.
Yeah.
So we've done producers, now production team. Not production. Production designer. Is it the production designer?
Yeah, production designer. Yep.
Yeah. So production designer, they will
scout out the area. Well.
No, that's not
area.
their job. Nah, that's a location scout.
That is location scout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go location scout. Why not? So location scout. Their job is to look for a location. They might find a house. They might find a bit of forest.
Oh, can you go a little bit closer?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So they might look for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have to go and look for a location. The scout might do, or the Yeah, they might have to go look for a location like a house, a forest. When if they hear any noises like traffic that goes past planes, they'll say no, we can't do it. Do it there. Yeah, so that's really distracting when you do that. Can you stop it?
I was just checking.
That's all right.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, yeah.
Audio's good.
Yeah, so that's what they'll do. They'll go and look for noises like that. That's their job. See if it's safe for if they can even bring equipment there or not. That's their job to location to find a location scout. Bit obvious shit, but yeah.
How about the armorer? Can I talk about that?
Oh yeah. So the location scout will also be a local person. So say if you're in the outback of Australia and you're a city guy, they're not going to get a city location scout. They're going to get a local person. So for Australia, it'd be probably like an indigenous person that will know the area, and they'll go out and look in the outback, see what it's like there. Say if it was in the city, they might have their own person look like a location scout. So some of those like little areas, like an alleyway or something like that in the city, that they'll have it there. Yeah, so armorer. Steve, you want to explain the armorer? Because you're excited about
it. The role of the armorer is basically just to provide guns to the actors, actresses in movies with guns. When they're doing practical scenes of guns, they put the blanks in the gun, but they can also be lethal still. So they still have to have precaution when doing an action scene. So the whole point of the armorer is to make sure all the actors and actresses are safe with the weaponry too. So there's usually a bit of training with the weapons beforehand. For example, they would have training at a firing range, like for John Wick 1, 2, and 3. They went down with the armorer and 2 other actors, and they all just did firing range tests just for the movie, just to how to move with the gun, how to hold it. How to move it, how to hold it, how to reload properly, how to clock it, yeah.
And how to put your microphone back as well.
What?
And how to put your microphone back as well.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that too.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so armor is quite important with those type of action films where they're shooting one another, like not actually shooting, but blanks and all that shit.
Yeah.
Which also leads to another person called the explosive
demolition guy, right?
Yeah, demolition guy. Yeah. So what their job is to make sure do is if there's a bomb, like explosion or something like that, they're gonna make sure that it's safe for everyone. They're gonna be very highly skilled in that area, like physics. You gotta know your shit.
Michael Bay.
Oh yeah, one of his films. Yeah, you gotta make sure you're fucking spot on with that crap, because yeah, you're gonna probably kill someone with explosives, especially if there's a bomb going off in the middle of the sand and Transformers.
They're also the people that will let you know, like scenes where you see them, you see people get burnt on fire, and they actually burn stunt people on fire for a little bit. That is are they also the same people? Because that's still an explosion before the fire.
Oh, stunt person.
Like, you know how they show like stunt people being on fire beforehand, but they show an explosion. That's obviously the demolition guy, right?
Yeah, the explosion beforehand. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
demolition guy.
that's what I meant. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
You can talk about stunt guys next, I guess.
Yeah, we could go on stunt guys. So stunt guys, there's 2 roles in the film industry where you have to sign your life away, pretty much. Which I'll get back to the other one later on.
The actor and the contract can't do it because they're too liable or something, right?
Yeah, Tom Cruise, he does his own actions and all that, like the stunts. He has broken his arm while filming. They actually put that in the film. Yeah, so what they'll do is stunt people, they will use them. They look like the actor. They sign a contract saying that
Lizard people. No joke.
What?
They look like the actor. Huh.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
So they sign their life away saying, okay, ready for a like you could die during the scene, so they've got to sign, okay, yeah, my family won't sue or whatever.
A plausible contract, whatever it's called. Yeah.
The other role you got to do that is actually a aerial pilot / camera operator. So what they'll do is they'll go in an aeroplane or a helicopter and actually be the camera operator at the same time as flying the helicopter. And
they got the camera. Do they have it mounted on the top or the bottom?
On the bottom, of course.
Oh, okay.
To save money, they might have the pilot and the pilot as the camera operator as well. So they could be flying the helicopter and be camera operating at the same time. And that's actually a very dangerous thing to do. And so that's another role where you sign your life away. But that's just to save money for the film shoot. Otherwise, there'd be a camera operator inside the helicopter
doing it as well.
Doing it. That specializes in all that crap. So going back to stunt, so stunt people, they sign their life away virtually, and they will do all the stunts that the actors can't do. That will actually kind of ruin the
film in a way.
Because if the main actor's dead or whatever, they can't go shooting anymore, and they have to put CGI in. It doesn't look the same.
Yeah, like with Paul Walker
and Fast and Furious 7, yeah. But they used his brother as well, and his brothers look like a lot to him in that film. Well, not that film, but you know what I mean. And they got their brother's face. They put dots on the face. So this is CGI as well. They do in video games, so they'll put dots on the people's faces, and then
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, they'll actually put the face of the After Effects for the CGI character on that.
What's it called again? Motion cap or some shit.
Yeah,
motion capture.
I can't even remember.
Yeah.
So then what's the next role? Your production designer. So a production designer is the person who actually designed the whole film shoot. So if the
sets.
Yeah, film shoots based in the 1970s. The house, the location that you're going to, it has to look like the 70s. It can't look like 2050 with flying cars and shit. Because
clothing as well.
Yeah, clothing. Yeah. They also are in charge of that. Which leads us to the next role. But like the designers, the clothes designers. So if they get a film 1970s, they got to go, okay, well, this is the film. We're going to get clothing. We're going to research the clothing from 1970s. So the hairstyle. The clothing. Next, you got the hairdressers and like makeup artists. They got to look at the makeup that they used and how can they apply it to these days, like the more safer alternative, like if it was like back in the 1500s when Queen Elizabeth was alive. I think she was alive back then.
1500.
Yeah, the first. Yeah, but
I thought you meant the current Queen Elizabeth.
No, Queen Elizabeth, like the first.
Yeah.
So they use lead makeup. They can't also use lead makeup these days because it's very poisonous to us and it's going to kill us very quickly. So they've got to make it look like the same makeup if they're doing a movie from back. They're doing a film now that looks back in those days. So that's what they all get together anyway. The production designer, the makeup artist, the clothing people, even the carpenters that will make the set. They all get together and go, okay, well, this is going to look like 1970s. How you want it to look like? the director will get involved and say, okay, well, I want to look like this, that, and then they start drawing it up. So they might even have a draw artist that will come in and draw everything up for them to say what the thing's going to look like, and then the cabinet people will go, okay, yeah, we can do that.
Or they'll even do like a 3D model of the space.
Yeah,
I don't know if they do that too.
I think they can do that now.
Yeah.
With today's technology, they can do that. And then also the makeup artists will go, okay, yep, this makeup looks like this. The hairdressers will be like, oh yeah, there's got to be a fringe for the 1970s. I'm pretty sure that was the thing back then. The 1980s was like the hair curl. And then what else is there? Is that it for production designer? Or was there another thing that they do?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, production designer also, they do a little bit of continuity as well. So if like flowers are being moved, they will move it back. That's mostly continuity's job. So if something has been moved, they will move it.
I guess we can talk about props.
Oh yeah, props, yeah, same thing as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
because same thing, but...
Yeah, same thing. So you might have a modern Warcraft film that's been made with a fucked up sword looking thing. In the video, like, if you play video games, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I haven't played that shit, but
I haven't either.
They've got to make the swords look like from if they're basing a movie off the video game. They're gonna make sure the swords look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So they'll have like private companies that will make the swords and make it look like it's real. Then the sound effects people will come along and then make it like saying ching ching ching, and the sword's hitting or something like that. What
yeah,
do they do?
the Foley people.
Yeah, the most
well.
important. Yeah, some of the most important people to film. Like everyone's important on a film shoot, but everyone reckons the director is the important person on the film shoot, but they're not really.
Yeah, they're more just the guy in the limelight when you think about it.
They're the person that pretty much gets the limelight. There are other people on a film shoot that are actually more important than the director.
Yeah, and the amount of effort that goes into them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, the directors, they put a lot of effort into it, but you know, about the editor, about the Foley, about the DOP, like no DOP, you're fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for that. Yeah. Well, they have done films like I think it was the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had
I remember that one.
Yeah, they didn't have any of that kind of stuff. They just went and filmed out in a forest somewhere, and they made it like over exaggerated acting, but they held cameras to say, oh okay, well there's this Blair Witch person, but there was nothing being there anyway. But
yeah, the whole movie you don't see anything, and then at the end you just see like a shadow.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
And the guy being hanged, and then it's like, okay, I assume she's gonna die then, but they don't really show.
No, it really show, but it's effective movie. It had a budget of 40,000 or something like that. So I'm guessing that's just to get to the location, and like a little bit of insurance probably involved with it, and like pay for food and sleeping somewhere.
Yeah. Hotel.
Yeah, 40 grand. That's a pretty small budget for a film like that, and they ended up getting, I think it was like over $30 million or something like that.
Yeah, 30 to 60 million.
Yeah, something like that in the in the box office. So it would have been a bit more money after the box office when they start selling on DVDs, videotapes, and on Netflix probably as well. They might have a contract with Netflix. They might be for, I don't know, say 60 million or that. There's like different providers now. There's Netflix, Stand, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus. They're all Binge, Apple TV. They might have it all contracted with you, saying, okay, go out and make a documentary, and that's where also you might get your money as well to say, okay, well, it really depends. We'll explain a bit later on how you get the money for a film. There's not only an executive producer, you might have like a contract with Netflix, for example. They might say, go make this documentary, you've got $1 million to make it.
Yeah, that's exactly how Netflix and all that run nowadays. Season by season, they get renewed by contract. If it doesn't do well, then it's axed.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to make a certain amount of money back from what you're making, yeah.
Yeah.
So I reckon we'll stop there and we'll go to another segment. We'll be back soon to talk about lighting, people.
Alright, no worries.
Yep, alright, we'll catch you soon.
Maas&Staple. Bye-bye.
Ready? We'll do it again, I reckon.
Alright.
3, 2, 1.
Maas&Staple.
Hello and welcome back to the Maas&Staple podcast. We're on segment 4 now. So before I said we're going to talk about the lighting people now. So the lighting people are actually work underneath the DOP in the film shoot, in the film area. So the lighting director will say, okay, we want to put the lights here. The DOP will say, okay, there's got to be a certain f-stop. So the lighting director's got to make sure that all the lighting has got to be listen to that what the DOP said. So if it's f15, they're gonna light it down. They're gonna light it to f15, which is actually a very high aperture.
Yeah, that is very high.
Yeah.
Very dark.
Most horror films are recorded, are made in like a high light density. I don't know why, but that's what they do. Like when you see behind the scenes.
So they do like f15 or 16.
Yeah, they'll do it very high.
And then they just boost the ISO.
Yeah, ISO. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that you probably didn't know, but I learned that during film school. Yeah. So the there's no lighting director, is there, in film?
Lighting director.
Yeah, there's no light. That's the
Nah,
gaffer.
that's more of a broadcast.
Okay,
Sure.
sorry, that's in broadcast. So they'll do that. They're both the same thing. Gaffer does that in the film industry. Sorry, I got that wrong there. And television, it's the lighting director. Okay, next thing you know, you've got is the best boy, which is the gaffer's help in the film industry. So they will, if the light's going to be put up, the best boy will do that. Put the light up. But then it's the lighting director's job to to make sure it's living up to that.
The gaffer.
Yeah, the gaffer. Sorry, the
Lighting
gaffer.
director.
The gaffer to I get it mixed up sometimes.
Yeah,
that's
alright.
The gaffer will tell them where to put it. The reason why they're called gaffers because they're always carrying gaffer tape. I've actually remember when I was doing a film shoot, I was the best boy and I had gaffer on me, gaffer tape and camera tape and all that blah blah blah, carry on. And the DOP said to the gaffer, he said, who's the gaffer around here? And anyway, the gaffer said, I am. And he goes, and the DOP goes, where's your fucking gaffer tape?
That's right. Oh god.
And
yeah,
and everyone stopped because the DOP yelled at the gaffer, because we're putting up a black curtain as well, so you have to have gaffer tape to hold up that black curtain so you let no light in. And so I had to use by the time I had put the black curtain up with the DOP, who also had gaffer tape, by the time we had put that up, the gaffer person had found the black gaffer tape to put up the black curtain. So yeah, it does. Time is money, as they say.
Not on a volunteer shoot.
No, not a volunteer shoot, but on an actual shoot that
would have cost a lot of money.
That would have cost the gaffer's job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you make sure if you're a gaffer, you make sure you got gaffer tape, because that's the reason why you're called a gaffer, which they should know that in the film industry anyway, because that's what they get paid to do. So the best boy will actually put the lights up. Then you have electronic people, so they'll make sure everything's safe electronic wise. You might have electrician on shoot. Then you got your first aids as well, which will work under the unit. So unit are also the first people and the last people to leave a film shoot. They do all cooking, the food, the preparation for, they might have to put up tents, they might for the makeup people, whatever they do, they got to do it. They might cook the food for all the people, have the food ready for the producers, the director, the continuity, the people that are going to be very busy on that day, and even the actors. They'll prep the food for them, so when they come along, they just grab the food it's got their name written on it or whatever. They'll pick it up and grab it, and then I was actually the unit assistant, so I was one prepping the food for the film shoot while doing continuity, which was a big fucking fail, trust me. Don't ever do that. If you're continuity, just leave the continuity, don't do any other fucking shit. Because it's not going to turn out good for you. You're going to have a whole crew yelling at you going, why the fuck isn't Mark giving me a bloody cup of coffee when you're actually trying to do fucking continuity?
Yeah.
So don't do that. But then that's just the typical. Should we say TAFE student? Yeah. Typical.
I guess you could kind of say some typical people. I guess
Yeah,
you could say, yeah.
Yeah, well, not typical TAFE student, like they're all different. But just a typical wannabe filmmaker who doesn't know anything about the film industry and doesn't know anything about continuity. Because any continuity probably agree with me, they're the second busiest person on the film shoot. Followed by, with the first AD being the most busiest job on the film shoot. So if your continuity, don't go worrying about fucking walkie-talkie batteries, which someone learnt. Not me, that wasn't me, but they were too busy worrying about batteries on the film shoot and they actually missed one of the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and do, if continuity, stick to continuity, don't go doing other shit, people's jobs, because that's their job, not your
Always
job.
stick to one role when you're in a any shoot.
Yeah, do your job, understand your job, and that's what you do. Don't go doing any other job, because then if you put up a light wrong and you're the, I don't know, makeup artist, and you're putting up a light and you do it wrong, it's your fucking fault, not anyone else.
Yeah, and you're gonna get slagged for it.
There's no fucking holding back in the film industry because they will fire you for whatever reason they can think of. So if you're better than someone, they're going to get jealous and they'll probably try and take you off the film shoot, but then they might have backup from the other crew members that will say, nah, it wasn't him, it was the other person that caused all the trouble. So you've got a family, they will look after each other on a film shoot. Sometimes, depending on your crew, as I was saying before, as continuity, the director, first AD, and the DOP weren't friendly with me, so they tried to fuck me up. But yeah. And even the editors were friendly with the director, so yeah, don't ever do that. If you're friends, like, make sure everyone's friends with each other. You can have your arguments, of course, but yeah.
Sounds like too many yes men or yes girls in some sets.
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like yes men or yes girls, like they agree with everything they say and they don't. There's no arguments. But as soon as someone, might fuck up a little bit, they all blame him. A whole bunch of group. It's like jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. If you get what I mean.
Yes. So there's always someone to blame on a film shoot. We didn't talk about data wrangler. That's a very important job.
No, we didn't.
So data wrangler will actually start late hours of the morning, putting footage from the camera, like the cards. They'll grab the cards, put it on the computer, and then wait for that download to happen onto the computer, which they'll make a computer on on the computer and 2 hard drives.
Yeah, they make up a RAID, don't they? Yeah, like RAID drive.
Yeah, so then what they'll do is at the end of the day, they'll get the hard drive, they'll keep a hard drive, or give it to someone else. They might give another hard drive to someone else.
And back up one on their computer.
And then back up on the computer as well, which will slow down the computer as well. But data wranglers, the job to, like, they'll always do different backups. There's ways of naming data wrangling. What they'll do is they'll name it by the slate. So if they say, we'll explain the slate a little bit later on because it's very important. Very important bit of equipment on a film shoot for everyone on the film. So continuity for the camera people, for the director, so everyone knows where they are on the film shoot. So
or the metadata.
Yeah, so they'll put the production. The data wrangler will put down the card number, which is the roll. So they'll put the A, which is the camera they're using, camera A. And then they'll put down, say if it's card number 1, they'll put 1. And then they'll put the date, so that might be the 2020, so that's the year, for example. Then they'll put the month, then they'll put the day. Right. And then what they'll do is they'll put the scene, so I think it's the scene, the scene, so the location A. Was it 1? No, location 1.
I'm pretty sure it's, it's 1 A.
Yeah, so it'll be scene, so scene 1. Slate, which is the angle, might have a different angle. It might be alpha. In Australia they use alpha. In England I'm pretty sure they use alpha. They use the pilot language, like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. They'll do all that.
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Yeah, they'll put all that in. I think they miss out on I and O. They'll miss out on because I and O look exactly to the number of the like number 1 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the data wrangler will actually name it by what's written on the slate, and then taker might be how many takes it's written on the slate. So it might have done one take. Might have even done a what's it called, The Shining. Film where they did that one take of the going up the stairs. I think it ended up being 300 something takes they did of that one going up the stairs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, sent Jack Nicholson and the woman that played that.
Crazy.
Yeah, sent them absolutely mental.
And they showed it on the film.
Yeah, showed it on the film.
A little bit.
So there's a lot of takes that they did on that one. So they might have a lot of takes on the one scene that you're doing. And the data wrangler is the person who's going to put all that on to the computer at the end of the day. And they might not get any sleep because they're waiting for a download to happen on the computer due to it being too slow or whatever the case might be. So data wrangler is a very important job. You don't realise it. People will just think, it's the editor that does the job, but on a cheap film, yes, the editor would do it. But on a high production adventures film, even Transformers, whatever, there is a data wrangler on the film.
Yeah.
They might even have more than one person doing it as well, and they are in charge of looking after those hard drives that they're doing as well,
With their equipment on it. And all their secret folders.
Yeah, secret.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people in the industry who there are YouTube videos of data wranglers. So what they do, if you're more interested in what they do, that is something to look up. Yeah. Is that all the roles on a film shoot, or?
I think so.
There's probably plenty more, isn't there?
There's probably like 30 more.
We've missed out. There's a greenkeeper as well. Self-explanatory, really. Like, they're a person who looks after the gardens. So if there's a forest, they will look after the plants and shit like that. See if there's anything that's been ruined by the filming, carry on like that. They might even grow the garden first, like the flowers and pot plants and all that, carry on. They'll do that.
Yeah.
And then they're in contact with the
Key
production.
grip.
Oh yeah, key grip.
I just thought of it.
Oh, the grip. Yeah, I forgot about the fucking grip.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's two types of key grip. So key grip on a film shoot and key grip on a television show. So key grip on a television show will actually put the set together, make sure everything's all up to standards and all that. And then on a film shoot, the key grip is the person who, if they're doing a dolly movement, the key grip would actually be on the camera, on the dolly with
And they also have to pick up the dolly and move it around.
No, that's the grip.
Oh, okay, that's the grip.
Yeah,
okay.
So the even the key grip might even be the person that's on Steadicam as well now and then, but they usually hire a Steadicam operator who will come in and do the steady work. We'll say Steadicam as well.
All
So
right.
Steadicam is a company over in America, which is a bar that so they put a vest on, and then there's a bar arm that sticks out like that, and it jiggles around, moves like an arm virtually. And then Steven's fucking around with something as I'm talking, like always.
Just grabbing out my keys.
Likes to fucking interrupt me. I don't even know why you had to grab out your keys while I'm fucking talking, or during the podcast. But anyway, there's an arm that holds the camera, and there's a pole. The pole allows it to pivot like that, and the Steadicam operator's job is to move whatever the shot the director wants. You've got drone operators who will do it's pretty much self-explanatory. Like, they pretty much fly the drones that will go through the air, but their job is to make sure that it's a safe area, so there's no aircraft, no airports around the area. There's nothing that they might even have someone like the DOP might even look where the drone's going, but then the drone operator might be looking at the actual footage. It doesn't really matter. Like, so there's at least someone watching the drone, and there's someone watching what's happening on the
screen.
On the screen, yes.
Okay.
The director will always be looking at this at the screen. The drone operators to get the drone to the spot where they want that one shot. The director might say, the drone operator can say no to a shot as well. So if it is unsafe and the director says I want that shot, the drone operator can say no because it's unsafe, and they have to listen. They have to abide by the drone operators.
Oh, the rules.
Yeah, rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Each country's got their own rules. So in Australia, I've pretty much just said some of the rules that they said. Yeah, they've pretty much got to abide by those rules. So you might get an American film coming over here, like I don't know what film, but they might want to use a drone, and then they've got to do a local drone operator who's got the license to film in those areas, and they've got to make sure if it's safe and all that carry on. And if the director has to abide by their rule of saying if it's unsafe, no, you can't fly it. And Australia's very strict on drone flying. Yeah, so any other rules that you can probably think of? We haven't said scriptwriter yet, have we?
No.
Scriptwriter pretty much self-explanatory.
They write the script.
Yeah.
Screenwriter, scriptwriter. In a TV show, there's normally 4 to 6 writers, depending on the show. They normally have big board meetings before every episode, and there's always a script read with the whole cast on every TV show. They will just read out all the plot lines, the structure, and everyone just finds out their depth and everything. But there's some actors in that who don't want to read the script until the script write, just feel the interaction with everyone. Yeah,
and we'll get back to more about script writing in a minute. We're going to catch a break now, and we will catch you later.
All right, no worries.
Welcome back to segment 5 of episode 12, the Maas&Staple podcast of how to make a film. So we were just talking about how to make a script, what the scriptwriter will do on a television show, and I think we'll go on to what a scriptwriter does for a movie now. As Stephen said, they could have different screenwriters. Like for Batman films, I think they have a few different screenwriters for each film. Surely they would do, because Batman is a very big film. Like people like Batman, and like all those superhero films, they'll have more than one scriptwriter.
Yeah, at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Yeah, but with other films, like I don't know how to explain what films there might have one scriptwriter, because I'm not really 100% sure. Anyway, some films would actually have just the one screenwriter, who actually might give an idea, concept, write it down into a script. The producer say, we like this, but it needs to be changed. So they might even do up to 30 different
variations.
Yeah, variations before that's even a draft made, and they might make few different drafts of the screen.
Then they talk to the director too when they're doing that.
The producers first.
Okay.
Yeah. Then what they'll do is they go through the next stage where they'll go, okay, yep, we like it. The director might go, okay, well, I don't like this. Screenwriter, can we write it back again? And then the screenwriter will actually write it out again, like how the director wanted it. Once the producers agree with it, whatever, and then they go to the next bit, which is the director's screen, right? So the director will change it as long when they go along the film, and then the editor will change it again to what you get as the final product of the film, which is what you actually see in the movie theaters. So it's a long process of writing scripts, even books as well. Is different. Like there's always someone who might not like it, whatever. They have to abide by what they say, otherwise the film's not going to get made. Yeah. So is there other? I forgot if there's other.
Script advisor. That's a role, isn't it?
Script advisor. I don't know.
Is that a role?
I think it's just a TAFE thing.
Okay. It must be a TAFE thing. Yeah.
Yeah, or film school lecturer, whatever you want to call it. Cast. So you've got extras, you've got stunt people, you've also got the celebrities that might be acting in the film, like Brad Pitt or who would you say, Kevin Spacey or
Spacey.
Yeah, your main actors pretty much.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey,
yeah,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, you got your different actors, the main actors, but then you also might have lead actors. Well, they might be your lead actors. They might be your
Leonardo.
Yeah, they could it could be really anything. You might have your head, your lead or main actresses as well. Then you've got your second leading, or the, what do they call it now? There's a material name they call it.
Supporting.
The supporting actress
Yeah.
or supporting actor. And then they might have your extras, they might have other actors as well in there, depending. You might even get selected into a film that you might even have one sentence to say during that film.
And they still get paid millions.
Oh yeah,
Some of them,
it depends on the film as well. The director, if you get directed by the director what to do, your pay instantly gets bigger amount. But if you're not directed by the director, well then your pay is down. Like you might get contract $10 an hour, but as soon as the director starts talking to you,
$10 an hour.
For example.
Yeah, okay.
Well, as soon as the director starts talking, you might automatically get up to about $40 an hour, depending on what you do. Really, you might get one sentence, so that's probably an hour anyway of filming. So everything that is in a film shoot, you might have something big like Avengers, like the end game, big fight. That's probably, they probably would spend millions and millions of dollars on that one scene, that big fight.
I think they spent. They said they spent like.
I know they spent $500 million on.
I know for that one scene it was close to 100 million.
On that one scene, was
Just
it?
on that final scene.
Yeah. So they'll spend millions and millions of dollars on something like that. So that's where time is money comes into it.
Yeah, sure.
Then the demand of the film as well. That's also high
That's
pressure.
why they did the whole studio was green screen for that scene.
Yeah. But they would have had hundreds of extras that weren't even directed by the director.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that big productions like that, you automatically get paid if you're directed by the director. So we've talked about the cast, the crew, lighting, everything like that. There's probably something we've missed out, surely.
Yeah.
Don't
know.
Probably go back to the broadcast or television.
We'll talk more about broadcast if you want.
Yeah. So, depending what you want to do, really, there's the technical director so they are the person who's in charge of the whole production of the television show, or even the spotlight coverage, or even a news as well. The technical director said, no, we can't have it tonight because there's an issue, we can't fix it in time, but their job anyway is to fix it in time. Well, otherwise you've got no coverage of what's happening. So, they've always got to make sure everything's working.
And also, as the TD, you're allowed to boss people around a little bit.
Yeah, you can.
Just to get things going.
Yeah, get things going. Yeah, so if everyone's behind schedule, you've got to make sure everything's going right. Technical, also something I learned at films, broadcast. I studied broadcasting, so don't ever put your TD on as a replays operator. It's never gonna work. It didn't work on our coverage, but the producers didn't care. As long as they had internet, that's all they cared about. Which is the technical director's job, to get the internet.
Yeah.
And you're meant to have a senior camera that's meant to go, okay, well, there's a camera that's broken down, what are you going to do? That's the senior's camera job, but also the TD's job to do as well. I had 3 cameras down, no senior cams to help me out, and that was my job to try and get fixed. So I had 2 cameras fixed by the end of it, also helped by technicians and lecturers that have been in the industry for a very long time, helped out, obviously, but I did try and get 2 cameras working by the end of it. I've got 2 cameras working, but the last one didn't work. So we had to improvise. As I said again, the producer didn't really care because they had the internet to watch YouTube videos. Yeah. So I was like, okay, fuck the last camera.
Yeah. That's good idea.
They put me on a brand new bloody replays operating machine, which they took out the old one and put a new one in. And I had to fucking learn that very quickly. And that was pretty much that's pretty much where the downfall went. Because I could have had someone else, I could have been doing CCUs, for example. Well, CCU operator, yeah, I could explain that in a minute. So I could have been doing CCUs rather than doing replays operating, which I could have had CCU operator doing that.
Yeah, it seemed like the whole replays thing, it seems like, like you could easily get like CCU to take a break and do the replay.
Yeah.
And then go back, or Yeah, exactly.
So CC operator is the person who is what like the camera assistants do in the film. So CCU will actually see what if the lighting's changed, like during a sports coverage. The light they might go from sunny 1 minute and then cloudy next. Happens a lot here in Australia, Perth and Melbourne. 1 minute sunny, next minute it's all dark.
Yeah,
they'll do the
the whites and the blacks as well.
Yeah, they'll do the iris.
The histogram shit.
Yeah, they'll do the iris control and judge it by the histogram. They'll do a white balance. Every single industry does not industry, but like film and broadcast, they'll do a white balance.
And porn.
What? What's white balance?
They'll do white balance and that.
Yeah, white balance and black balance.
I'll just beep that out.
Yes, they'll do white and black balance. I know you won't bleep that out. You said cunt so many times, you haven't beeped it out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
anyway, so you got the white balance, you got the black balance. That will, the CC operator will actually do like within the second of doing it. Actually, it probably takes them about 5 seconds to roll.
I think a professional could probably do it in probably like 20 seconds.
5 seconds.
Okay, 5 to 10 maybe. Alright.
Yeah, because the black balance takes about 3 seconds to do. White balance, they're pretty simple stuff. When I was TD for a local TV show, I'm not going to say, actually Sweet and Sour, which doesn't run anymore due to COVID-19. I was the TD for a few episodes of that, and that'd take me around about 20 seconds, like Stephen was saying, to do CCU. I'd make sure it was nice and good, like white and black balance, and then the iris control as well. I wasn't writing that because it was inside a studio, but in live coverage, you would be, in sports coverage, you'd be writing that all bloody day long. The CCU, the iris, sorry. Also, the CC operator can have control over cameras when recording and not. That's up to whatever the coverage might be. They might say, okay, no, we don't want it. They might say that they do want it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what CCU do. Well, you got technicians who will be like a camera technician, who will be the person who you go to if the camera breaks down. The camera technician will be straight there doing it, sorting out for you. And there's different techniques for technicians for each thing. And usually if there's a problem, like say if the microphone goes down, the technician's there within seconds.
Yeah.
And then the audio assistant will come along and you give them a new thing if something does happen or whatever. Shit can go wrong at any time in broadcast. 1 second everything's going alright. The next second the audio director's fucking yelling. The director's going, what the fuck's happening? And then audio director's writing fades up and all that. And they're not meant to be doing that. They can just sit there and relax virtually. They should be doing, but they got to ride the faders.
Oh yeah, you got to ride it.
Yeah, well, the audio director might even just sit there and relax the whole day.
Oh, that's not what you're meant to do, but.
Well, but they'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the next minute the audio desk might shut down and they've got to write it live pretty much. There's always a backup of everything in a broadcast. So if something does go wrong, horribly wrong, they'll automatically go straight to the main camera, work that first, which is just the wide angle, not a wide angle, but use the wide field if they're doing AFL.
Field of view.
Yeah, field of view. They'll go straight off that camera, and that's the backup camera. So if something does go wrong, like the router breaks, they'll use camera one, disconnect all the cameras, and go straight to camera one with the. What else is there for a
broadcast?
Yeah, for a broadcast. Oh, you got news director. News director gets all the stories, puts them together, and might say it's too long, whatever. And they ring up the editor and go, okay, well, can you shorten this down a little bit? And the editor will go, yep, whatever, blah blah blah. And then,
lighting director.
Yeah, I started lighting director already.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
Tapes. I guess you.
No, tapes not anymore. Like tapes
that's not really a thing.
Digital.
Yeah.
Tapes just record pretty much. They do it automatically now. Back in the day, they used to get a tape rounder, round it all up, and then put it through like that. And they might cut things and all sorts of stuff that they used to do. I'm not
Not too sure.
Yeah, not too. We didn't really learn that because it's not really needed now. But
Vision switcher.
vision switcher, yes.
Yeah.
That they some. So if you're doing like a big production with over 20 cameras, you'll need a vision switcher for sure. If you're doing something small, like a local TV show, like with 3 cameras, you don't need a vision switcher. You have the director. There's a graphics operator who will run the graphics. Doesn't matter what one it is. There's the person who records, which is the tapes, pretty much. Then also you've got the producers which won't even touch they'll sit there next to the director or behind the director yelling out if something does go wrong. But also producers shouldn't even be in the control room anyway, but sometimes they are, depending on what you do. If it's inside a studio, the producer should be actually sitting downstairs in the actual studio. You've got the floor manager inside the studio as well, which is the person in charge of the floor. Most important role on the floor. They're going to make sure everything's running to normal on the floor and pretty much like that.
Yeah, and helping talent, like when do they start and all that.
And you've got the first AD who will be the person in charge of the whole production, which is the person that's behind the producer. Well, they might even call him production assistant. They might call him assistant producer, but they're actually the DA, so director's assistant. So they'll be in charge of the director on the day. They tell the director, okay, play this graphic at this time, do this, do that, and the director will be like, yep, I can't disagree because they're going to do it.
Yeah, they have to follow through.
You have to follow through it. What else? The camera operators, obviously. Don't call them AD. You don't call them camera assistants. You don't call them the camera operators. That's all they are.
Yeah, I was going to say camera assistants, but
yeah, there's no camera assistants. You do have cable hand, which are the people who will carry the cables on the
cable wrangler.
Yeah, cable wrangler. Yeah, they will.
Camera wrangler.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Cable wrangler.
Yeah.
Nice inside joke.
Anyway. Yeah, probably none of you will understand what we do. We've seen it firsthand. Every professional camera operator has seen it. The people who are inexperienced, haven't been to film school or whatever. There's even people who've been to film school and don't know how to cable wrangle still. And the camera operators that you see talk to you in the industry will be like, how the hell do they get a job as camera op if they don't know how to cable wrangle?
Oh, like people who they don't know how to figure 8. And all that.
Figure 8.
Like they trip over the cable and.
The cable wrangler is pretty much the job that the camera. You don't want anyone tripping over the cable, or the camera operator tripping over.
No matter what, even if it's a bit messy when you do it, don't stress. Just make sure no one's tripping and no one is.
You do get idiots who will stand on the cable and trip everyone over. Yeah,
such as the lead. You know, if that falls out, the camera might hit the floor and then. Yeah,
there's been camera operators that have been knocked back, and there's a story. There's always a story behind every single camera operator that's had that instance where it's actually happened to someone. Because I've talked to a lot of them, they all say the same thing. Like, there's always that one person that doesn't know that cable wrangle. And even when I go to work, like, there's always cables that are fucking messed up. And I know it's definitely not me because I make sure I do it properly before I leave it. Sometimes I might be in a hurry to get home, whatever, but I still try and make sure it's good for the next person to go. But then you get some dickhead who'll try to be smart and try and do it a simple way or be a lazy way, and it doesn't get done right, and you get tangles everywhere. And you think, fuck.
Do you ever figure 8 it, or you just do it the under and over?
Just under and over.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long the cable is. Anyway, I think we're going to go to a break now, yeah. Alright, we'll catch you guys in a minute.
Alright, no worries, guys. Bye-bye. Alright, we are back on the Maas&Staple podcast.
Yes, we are, Stephen. And so we're still talking about cable wrangling. So cable wrangling is actually important, so you don't trip people over, don't trip the camera operator. Or even equipment can also break on a... if someone does trip over a cable or whatever. So that's also another important job. You have grip assistants who actually... it's a grip people who are grip in the film industry who actually look after the cables and all that shit. Kind of carry on. Oh, just farted. So then there is equipment. So each film farted again. Fuck, too much coke. Anyway. Not the drug Coke, just like
The drink.
yeah, drink, yeah.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I'm not on cocaine. But anyway, so we've got the equipment. So you've got camera equipment. Otherwise, you've got Steadicam. You've got drones. You've got all sorts. You've even got dollies. You've got cranes. Cranes actually lift the cameras up, and go around everywhere. Dollies allow you to go sliding across the place and all that. Tripods are just a still shot, and cameras always sit on the tripod pretty much. Doesn't matter what it is, crane or. You can even put the cameras on the drones as well. So with these audio equipment, you've got Stephen. You want to name what you've got for audio equipment?
Audio equipment.
Yeah, what you
on
need for a film. Yeah, film shoot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have a boom mic for the guy who holds the mic, the boom operator.
You got a boom.
A shotgun mic, sorry.
Yeah.
Fucking half asleep. Yeah, shotgun mic. You got
boom.
Depends what you're really doing. Yeah, the boom, of course. Shotgun mic, the boom. You even might have a microphone on the camera, depending on what you're filming.
Yeah, also anything. Yeah. You've
Yeah.
also got a mixer. You've got a recorder that records the audio.
You got the I guess this doesn't really count, but if you have an electronic slate, you got to match up the timings with the mixer type of deal as well.
Yep. And then also with production design, you've got everything from costumes to your actual production, what you've got in there. So everything pretty much is done by them. Lighting wise, you've got different lights.
Yeah.
You've got 1K lights, 2K lights, 5K lights.
6K lights, even.
I don't think that's.
Is that a thing?
You got LED lights.
Okay.
I think you could have. I'm not sure. I don't 100% what they've got. But I'm really going by what film school had.
Because I was going to say there's probably 6K or in the future.
Yeah,
probably not now, but yeah.
And then also you've what else have you got? Oh yeah, well, we'll talk about the slate now. So the slate's actually very important for any film shoot. In broadcast, it's done by a machine that actually I forgot what they call it now.
What?
But each camera is connected by that one point.
Every on the Vision Mixer, every camera is connected through the
router. So the router will actually have the
time routing in the box.
Yeah, the router.
I forgot what it's called.
The router.
Yeah, just a router.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will actually have it in the time code in that where you slot it in, and I'll tell you, just have to make fucking sounds when I'm talking. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, fucking rude cunt. Anyway.
I'm thirsty, mate.
You're playing with your keys, and then you start fucking have a drink, and then you're fucking patting your microphone like a dog. Like your dog's not here, mate. And then also you've got so then so your clapper, we'll talk about clapper now. Very important bit of equipment.
Drink water. I'm thirsty, bro.
If you're doing it so loud I can hear it in my ear.
Sorry.
So the slate's actually most important. Going back to slate, sorry. That's what we were talking about before. So the router, the time code is in the router. You can also do it through the replay machines. EVS operator pretty much also replays as well. Does the replays for the footage that you'll see.
They have like a circle 360 thing, and they push it back and left and right or something. Right.
We've got to talk about colorist as well during editing process.
The color grader.
Color grader.
That's right.
We've still got to talk about the process of the film as well. The colorist is the person who actually do all the color grading for the film.
All the saturation.
Yeah, all the saturation.
Tones,
everything pretty much they do. A long, tireless process, and they've got to make sure it all looks what they want. So in Joker, we didn't know what was happening, if it was a dream or not. So that was the colorist's job to make sure it looked like it wasn't a dream or whatever. But then there might be something like Tendant, where the movie's actually played from behind. It starts from at the end and then finishes at the start.
Yeah.
Of the film. So that's the colorist as well. If there's a dream that someone's having, they might have like a brownish look to it or something like that. It makes it look like it's a dream, or it might be very bright, depending on the film. Yeah, so that's the colorist's job to do all that color grading to make sure if it looks like it's in the future, past, whatever, or dreaming. Just carry on, depending on what your location is, and yeah, they're set. Yeah, they pretty much do all the coloring that's in the footage.
Every shot.
Yeah. Every
Must
shot.
be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you've got yeah. So we'll go back to Slate. Sorry. So the Slate in the film, you clap, and then that gets that even editing. So if you're doing a film shoot and there's no electronic slate, which a high production film will have an electronic one, which will sync into the mixer, so record at the same time, which you'll get the good clap when you clap it. It'll start the time code, which will play on the camera and also on the edit. Sorry, on the
audio.
On the audio, yes. So the audio will automatically turn on when it's clapped. They sync it by clapping it, and then the time code starts, and they know it's been synced to the camera. They'll connect it through a cable, or they might do it electronically. Like wirelessly. Sorry, so they've got a wireless bit now, rather than the cable. But on something not so high production, they might just have the slate, and the slate will and the editor will actually sync in on the edit.
On post.
Oh, in post, yeah. With the clap of the clapper, or the slate will clap, and then that's where and they'll look at it on the camera, and they'll sync it like that from that point where the first clap's happened, and where the clap has happened on the sound. That's where they clap it. You want to show them what it looks like?
What?
Just do a clap thing, I reckon.
Alright.
Yeah.
Will this show you?
Yeah, just quickly on that
Will
camera.
this show you what it looks like?
Yeah, you can do
blah
it.
Blah blah alpha.
Yep. So then you've got on top of the slate, you've got production. So production is actually what the production company you're working for. You could be working for Universal Studios, could be working for Disney, any of those high production companies.
HBO.
Yeah, HBO even, they'll do that. You write down HBO on the top. And then you've got your role. So your role is actually, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so on. That's the camera that you're using. So you might have camera A, camera B, camera C, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got, you might have 100. So you have like 001, for example. So A001, so A is the camera, 001 is the card number that you're using. So then the data wrangler knows the card that you that you've got. So then that's been filmed first, and then you've got and then you've got card 2, then you've got card 3. You might even have B2, which is camera B, but using the second SD card, or the card that you're using, or whatever. It might even be disc. Back in the olden days, well, not olden days, but back in when film was, well, it didn't have the technology we have these days. So then you've got the scene, so it's location. So you have one, like location 1, which could be, I don't know, a beach, for example. Then you've got the slate, so the angle, so it could be alpha. So it could be just like what I've got here, like a
mid shot, kinda.
Yeah, mid close up.
Yeah.
Well, it's between mid close up and mid shot. But anyway, a film person would understand this. If you don't understand film, you probably wouldn't get it. But do a little bit of research, it kind of makes sense. And then the next shot might be that in Australia we name that alpha, or otherwise A. When you're calling it out on the slate, you say alpha. So you say scene 1. Alpha, and then take 1, which we'll get to in a sec. But if someone says slate A1, for example, it could be that same shot, but the camera's been zoomed in.
Yeah.
On the next one, or yeah.
It basically means a variation.
Yeah, variation. Yeah. If the camera's the camera's been moved, the slate changes. The slate of the changes. So it'll be Bravo. Then go Charlie
and Delta.
Yeah, Delta. Yeah, blah blah blah, and they skip out I and O because of I forgot they are in the pilot formation, but they'll skip that because it looks like a 1 and a 0, which will get confused between if you're having a different angle of like if you have a zoom in shot of that character or whatever. So That's the angle, Slate. Then you've got the take. So it might be, you might do one take and that's it. Director goes, move on. First AD might say, move on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then you might say, oh, okay, well, the director might say, oh, let's do another take because I didn't like that, or well, something didn't happen, or the DOP wasn't happy with it. Or...
Also, you got the tail slate.
Yeah.
If there's no slate at the start, you can quickly say out tail slate, and you just do one before the end of the shot.
Yeah.
The recording.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh, you've said it anyway now,
Yeah.
but
Anyway.
yeah. So tail slate's done at the end of the shot. So this is what we're talking about now is what you do at the start of a shot of a take. You'll say all these different things. How many takes? So the director might say, I don't like that take. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. And so on, so on, so on. Depends on what the producers say, and first say the AD, the director, and blah, or everything. They might do another take. They might not. Depends what happens. And the money that we put into that one shot or scene, have to take. Yeah. So that's pretty much your clapper. Oh wait, no, sorry. You've got the director, so you put down the director's name, then you put the person who's on DOP. For the camera, you've got the date, and I think that's pretty much it on a slate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of them do have FPS, which is frames per second.
Yeah.
So if you're in Australia, you film at 25 frames per second. If you're in America,
24.
No, it's 29.97.
I swear some films are 24.
Oh yeah, some of them are 24, but in America it's a standard of...
Oh, it's 30 frames then.
Oh yeah, 30 frames, but...
Or 29 point... I know it's basically 30, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 29.97 anyway.
Yeah.
And then also with cameras these days have got 60 frames per second, which is just the double of what 30 frames is, well, for that 29.97 frames per second.
It's that unnatural fast motion.
Yeah. And then you've also got 50 frames per second, and then also with the cameras these days, they can film up to like thousands of frames per second.
Yeah.
Which is quite amazing what they can do.
Even those modern mirrorless, it's like 120 to 200 on some ones now. Yeah.
So that's pretty much your slate for you. And then you've got insurance to pay. You have managers as well on a film shoot. Managers, accountants, who'll sort out the money, which each day they'll come to them and say, oh yeah, this is how much we spent this day. They go, okay, yep, give it to the executive or the production company you're working for, or blah, blah, blah. So they're always looking after the film. You always have managers, accountants. The producer, I think the most chillest job is the producer, really, I think.
Yeah, because you're not doing a whole lot
No.
throughout the whole thing.
No, the producer will actually be the person who will say, okay, this movie's coming out on this day at the movie theatres, and then everyone else has to. Well, then they'll try and get it at the movie theatres. If it doesn't, they'll put it in a film festival, whatever, blah blah blah, or on Netflix stand, whatever there would be.
Foxtel.
Yeah, Foxtel. Yeah, no, depends really. Yeah, I think that's it for how to make a film and a television broadcast.
All right.
Would you say that's everything we've covered?
Yeah, it sounds like it. We kind of went through everything.
Yeah, I think
we really do.
Well, there are YouTube videos where people, a camera assistant, there might be a production designer, might be a director, might explain more detail their job, but we're just telling you the exact basics of what the film shoot is and a broadcast. So
I guess there's the OB van, but I guess not really much.
The OB van is like the same as a control room. It does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a mobile control room.
Yeah.
Just think of it that way. Yeah.
They're pretty amazing when you look inside a control room. Like people go, wow, TVs and shit like that. When you go in them, and like even a broadcast truck as well, people go, whoa. Even when there's just like 3-4 cameras on, like they go, wow, like look at all. And someone that might work in the industry, they go, oh yeah, would be type of thing. But yeah, people haven't seen that kind of stuff. It's quite amazing looking at it the first time. You go, wow.
I guess it would be, but
yeah. I think that's it really. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
And a film shoot and a broadcast. If you've got any questions, just write it down in the comment section below, or give us an email. I've got an email address, but we'll put it right here.
The email is also on the About section on the channel.
Yeah, the
Check that.
Yeah, and also on Facebook, you can also find our information on there as well. Give us a message on Messenger.
Or even give a tweet on tweet.
Oh, can you do on
Twitter.
Yeah, if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section below, whatever, and yeah, we'll try and answer it as much as best we can, or might get other film people in to explain their job, that their jobs and all that. But there'll be later podcasts to actually explain that now. I think episode 16 we're getting guests in.
Okay.
I'm not sure who we're confirmed yet, but we are getting some guests in, like for episode 16, 17, 18 and 19.
Yeah. We've got at least 2 to 3 people who kind of want to do it.
Yeah, kind of want to do
So.
it. Yeah, so that's coming up in the podcast. We'll to get more information, go into our website.
www.maas&Staple.com.
Yep.
I'll be linking that in the description too.
And below, and then also make sure you ring that notification button. Notification bell. Press the subscribe button, and also give us a like on YouTube, and all those other carry-on things.
And all these social medias.
Yeah, and you can also give us a dislike if you don't like this as well. But yeah, I think it's
give a dislike, and
it's very informative with this podcast, I reckon. So I shouldn't be seeing any dislikes unless you're an industry professional and you don't agree with something, and then okay.
I was going to say, if you have a dislike, at least give us an explanation.
Yeah. Oh, there's our alarm going off now. Yep. So
there we go.
We'll catch you on episode 13 where we talk about the lizard people.
Alright, the reptilians.
Alrighty, catch you guys later. Maas&Staple.